friends, welcome back to the craft room. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad we get to sew something together today. Isn't that exciting? I was running out of ideas of fun things to make sewing videos out of that didn't involve sewing. I'm really glad that my machine is back, but I wanted to chat with you before we start because I have some information. After I was having my withdrawals for like the first day or two that I didn't have my machine, I was able to like clear my mind and really kind of contemplate how I want to tackle this quilt top. I had all of these bright color blocks together and it was overwhelming me. Like I was starting to really not like how it was coming together. So I think this was like a blessing that the machine was in the shop for those few days. But here's what I have come up with. If you've noticed, there are a couple new blocks in our quilt top that we haven't done together yet. So I have actually jumped ahead 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks just to kind of get some groundwork laid for this quilt top since I have been winging it thus far. And we're gonna need some structure. Sometimes you just need structure. Here's my thought process, and you can tell me what you think about it. This one is the blockhead that we did last time, and there was back and forth on whether we should leave it white or put that hot pink square in there. And my biggest concern was that it was too light and it got lost in everything else, which was true. But as you can see, I've decided not to add the hot pink because I really feel like this quilt top already has plenty of color. We do not need another bold block. So I've definitely kept the light and I have added more lights. This is the block we're going to be working on today. I'm calling this the Bowties. I think it also looks like an hourglass when you've got it that way, but I'm calling it Bowties because that sounds cute. This is such a cool technique that I just can't wait to show you. Here is the close-up of the new fabric. It's the brown sugar, the one that I just got in the mail the other day. I've already added it to something. It is so beautiful with this background fabric, but it also goes really well with the brown already in the quilt. And I think having another light color in there is really going to help us kind of ground all of this craziness. This is a new one that we will make. Isn't that one cute? So again, with the tan in here, but we're incorporating the brown. I'm trying really hard not to make it look like I added this tan at the very last second. But here is a simple star with just the pink background and the brown sugar. It definitely leans towards this one, but I like the simplicity of this block. So not only color simplicity, but like structure as well, because this is a lot of pieces, this is a lot of pieces. You know, we just needed subtle in more ways than just color. And then we have this one, which I am a little bit on the fence about because I think it might be too simple. Time will tell on that one. But there's kind of my game plan of what we've got going so that we can balance out all of this color. And I'm sure for those of you shaking your head right now like, Kate, how did it take you this long to notice that your quilt top was looking crazy cuckoo? Thank you for being patient and kind until I got to it on my own. But that's kind of the visual that I'm going for. Simple colors, simple patterns. This is not the final layout. We're just kind of playing with this. And as soon as we get doubles of each of these blocks, then it'll definitely fit a lot better. So I guess in a sense, I'm still winging it, but I have some sort of direction. I don't know what you call that. In between winging it and having a clear, concise plan. Let's name that middle ground because that is where I live right now. Let's make this bow tie block. I have them done in the colorway that we need for the quilt, but we're gonna do them together with these cute colors. I love that floral, but this is the around the block sage that's in the shop, and it is so pretty. All right, we are going to be making the world's biggest half square triangles. We're going to put right sides together. These are 8-inch squares. You'll need 2 8-inch squares of the brown and 2 8-inch squares of your background. And we are just going to use the 2 at a time method and make big old half square triangles. So just a refresher on that one, we have 1 diagonal, and that we are going to sew 1/4 of an inch to the left and 1/4 of an inch to the right. Let me get that far and I will check back in with you. And there you have it. 2 8-inch squares sewn right sides together, diagonal, both lines. Now we are going to cut right on that line, giving us our 2 big old half square triangles. We're gonna go iron these open, but just a tip as you're ironing, pick one color and iron all of them the same way. So I think I'll just do these flowers. I'm just gonna iron them up and over, and I'm gonna make sure that I do that the same on all of them so that we come back. They're gonna alternate and sit on each other. That way we can have nesting seams. You know how I love to nest those seams, and especially on this big old one. But we'll talk more about that when we get there. Let me go iron these and I'll see you in a sec. There we have them. This flower is so cute with this green. Man, they were meant to go together. All right, just to recap, I ironed all of my purple up and over, and now this is how this is gonna come together. We're gonna put these half square triangles right sides together, but we're just gonna do opposing. So I've got flowers on the green, and then the green on the flowers, and we are gonna nest this middle seam. And we're gonna make sure that those seams line up and lock together. This is pretty big. So if you're feeling a little uncomfortable with the size, this is a great opportunity to pin. I don't pin much, but I really want this seam to stay right here. So I'm just gonna give that a pin closer to the top and then closer to the bottom. I was gonna do it in the middle, but then I just remembered we get to draw a line there. So don't put it in the middle. We're gonna grab our ruler, seams going this way, so opposite direction. We are gonna draw another diagonal, but same process. We're gonna sew 1/4 of an inch to the left and 1/4 of an inch to the right. Let me sew this together and then do that one, and then we'll catch back up. We'll trim and open together so that we can see the surprise that you haven't seen before when we open up these blocks. See you soon. There we have it. That little piece of fabric got stuck in my needle there, but it's a-okay. It's the back. Who cares? Probably should care, but I don't. So here we are. Let's trim right down the middle, just like we did with our other diagonal. And then let's open these up and take a look. Isn't that so cool? I know that there are other ways that you can make these 2 triangles, you know what I mean? We have done another way together, but I thought that was so neat. So I think it's great for 2 reasons. First of all, it's a nice simple block to go in with our otherwise chaotic thing, but that was such a cool way to do it. So necessary factor and cool factor were definitely 10s. I'm gonna go iron these open, and then we'll talk about trimming these and assembling this block. I just picked out 2 fabrics just so I could show you, you know, in the video, but these 2 are seriously so cute together. Okay, sidetrack over. Let's trim these. These we want to be 6.5 inches, so that by the time we're done putting all 4 of them together, that gives us a 12.5 unfinished block. Again, I'm going to use this 45-degree angle in my ruler and line that up. So I'm going to do my best to kind of split that difference so that I'm taking evenly all the way around. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do my left and then my top. Rotato, potato. Line this side up with our 6.5. And trim. And there we have a 6.5 inch square. So we'll cut a little bit off. This is definitely bigger than we need them to be. But if you've been with me this long, you know that I would much rather trim to the right size than not have enough. So I'm going to trim through the rest of these and trim through our brown ones. I guess those are the ones I really need to trim, huh? And then once I have them all trimmed, we will put them all together. So I will see you then. All nice and trimmed. Definitely more waste than we usually have. But again, I am glad that we have the exact size that we need. This is all this block is now. We just put all 4 squares together. And there you have it. Let's do the magic smoosh and finish this one up. And there we have it. The bow ties / hourglass. That'll be a weird title. Isn't that cute? You have a pinwheel in there. So it is like, you know, playing well with others. I think it's really sweet. As we continue to add blocks, I'm just going to keep rearranging until we find something that just works well. There is the bow ties. Super cool, super fun, super quick, super everything, I guess. Super. I will see you on Monday for a new video. But until then, bye friends.